Hello everyone and welcome to another Random Places makeup tutorial. We haven't had one of these in a while, but before I start explaining, let me get started with the makeup. I'm going to be priming my face the way I always prime my face. Then I'm going to spot conceal, do my brows, put my foundation on and take it from there. And I'm telling you about all this now because I have a lot I want to tell you and I don't want to forget to tell you what I'm doing. So since it's a Random Places tutorial, you might be wondering, where am I filming today? I am filming in my first ever office. Now it might be a shared office, it's not only mine, it's pretty big for it to only be mine, but it's still a first and I'm very excited. For those of you who don't know, I am a student at the University of Pretoria and I am currently doing my postgraduate studies in food science. And within the university there are a number of faculties. And a faculty is basically like a section of the university that the degrees get divided into. Because university is pretty big, right? And one person, one committee can't manage the whole thing. I'm in the natural and agricultural sciences faculty, and that's where you get all the sciences. It's where you get the microbiology, you get the biochemistry, you get the genetics, and the chemistry, all of those fun things. Now we have a variety of faculties, like I said, in natural and agricultural sciences. My boyfriend's in EBIT, which is engineering and what.
Engineering, built environment, and information technology.
That stuff. We also have the health faculty, the law faculty, all of those. And as you can hear, I am on campus. That is where my office is, and there are students outside making noise. Even though it's like 8:30, where are people here? But each faculty has a faculty house, which is basically a student-run committee that assists the faculty in hosting events. And these faculty houses help a lot in coordinating specifically like student culture and student life type of stuff. And also very importantly, we represent students to the faculty and we communicate things from the faculty to the students. We're kind of a mouthpiece between the two of them. Now, because it's a student leadership position, it is something you get elected as. So it's not just something you can apply for. You have to meet all the requirements, then you can apply, and then you can campaign, and then there's a whole round of voting, and then if you get voted in, you get on the committee. Now, this is not my first student leadership role. I've been a class representative since first year. So this was kind of the next step for me back in the end of 2020 when I applied for the first time. And I have been on this committee ever since. So back at the end of 2020, I heard that all these faculty house things were happening and I was like, okay, I want to do that, even though I had no idea what I was signing up for. It just sounded like something that I wanted to do. So I applied, and then when campaigning happened, I sent out my little poster that I made, which do I even still have that poster? I sent it out to all my class groups, and because I was a class representative during the lockdown and all that chaos and stuff like that, a lot of students knew about me. I was also very vocal on our class groups. I'm always talking there, always doing things, always asking questions. So people were like, yeah, okay, I know who you are, I recognize you, I'll vote for you. So I got voted in at the end of 2020. And the term runs from August to August, right? So I started August 2020, and then my first term ended the end of August 2021. And then I ran again, and I got elected for the next committee from August 2021 to August 2022, which we currently are in. I'm currently filming this in August. Now, while it's supposed to end of August, we're going to have all our send-off events and stuff in September and stuff, so I'm not entirely done, but I want to tell you a bit about the structure of the committee. So we have a chairperson, then we have two vice chairpersons that also have two other portfolios, and a portfolio is basically just, the section of work you're responsible for. I'm not entirely sure why they use the word portfolio because I don't actually know what the word portfolio means. Like, I know what it means, but it's a weird word. Anyways, now in my first term, I got academics as my portfolio, which I'll tell you more about in a second, but we got academics, we got personal, professional well-being, we got community outreach, we have the treasurer, we have culture, we have socials and general committee guardian, we have sports, and what else do we have? I feel like I'm forgetting one. And secretary. We have the secretary as well. Now, like I said, in my first term, I got academics, and I really, truly enjoyed my academics because I got to work with students or like student-related problems. A lot of what we did in academics was we answered questions for students because at the beginning of the year, everything, and I mean everything, is chaos because no one knows what's going on. No one knows how the university system works, and I have opinions about that. Like, I'm 5 years into this thing, and only now am I getting a good idea of how the university system works. Like, was I not supposed to know, like, 5 years ago how this worked? So yeah, at the beginning of the year, we spend a lot of time answering emails, telling kids what to do. We're basically like a first point of contact. So a lot of people email us being like, what do I do with this problem? And 9 out of 10 times that answer is just email faculty admin. They'll help you because I can't register a module for you or anything. I don't have access to the system. But at least you could find out who to contact through us, and we can give you a little bit more information because we've heard of this problem before. We then also trained the class representatives because they need to know who they need to contact if there's a problem and what's expected of them and stuff like that. So We get training information from the Department of Student Affairs. They tell us what we need to tell the class representatives. Then we put together a little slideshow, a little quiz, and we bring them all together for a meeting, make sure they know everything, they can ask questions, what. And like most of the time, the academics officers were class representatives themselves, so they know how to handle the issues. So we also had a group with all the class representatives where we could answer questions if they had any. If they're like, hey, how do I deal with this? You let them know and help them so that they had someone to go to, and if it was a big issue, we would help them escalate it. We also shared information about how things work in the faculty. We tried having this thing called the academics tab, which is just a tab on our online system where I'd write little articles about how to use this, how does that work, what to do in this scenario, and then there was like a quiz that you could get a reward for to incentivize people to actually read the stuff we're putting up. Oh, and we also host a quiz night. That's lots of fun. I don't know how academics ended up with a quiz night, but we did, and I enjoyed it. I loved the quiz night. It was really popular when we did it back in 2021. And then we also do student appeals, which if the university system detects that things are not going well in your studies, it can exclude you and say, sorry, you can't continue with your studies. And if you see this, you are given the opportunity to appeal, where you basically go, hey, no, university, I promise I deserve to continue studying. Please give me a second chance. And then it's an appeals committee that sits and they look at a case-by-case basis. Should this kid continue or should they not? And we look at a lot of things, like did this kid have a valid reason for not doing well? Did they solve the problem? Do we feel like they'll be able to continue? Or is this not someone who realistically is capable of finishing their degree? Again, each situation is different, and we just represent students when we sit in on these meetings and give our own opinions. Because we, are actively taking the modules they're talking about, and then when we try and decide what the requirements are for someone to come back, we as students who know the classes can be like, whoa, actually, that's a bit much. That's going to be difficult. This might work better. We're a bit more on the floor to give them that type of feedback. So that's what we did there. Those are intense. Those are like 5-hour meetings sometimes, where you go through each case, each student explaining why they feel they deserve another shot. And then you have to decide if they continue or not. And sometimes you have to say no. And it feels so bad because imagine this kid's not going to hear they can't continue studying because we decided your argument wasn't good enough. By the way, I'm doing my blush now, and then I'm going to go over my cream contour with some powder contour. I'm just going to set my whole face. But I enjoyed that type of stuff. It was really nice. It wasn't fun. It was long. It was tiring. But you felt like you're actually doing something. I enjoyed that part. I felt like I was making a difference and all that. The emails though, oh my gosh, the emails got to be a lot. We had hundreds of emails in our inboxes every day. So that's why you share academics with a vice chairperson so that they can kind of help you lighten the load. Those emails are daunting, man. I don't even answer my own emails all the time. Now I have to answer all these other emails. Oh my gosh. But that was academics. I had a blast. It was effort. It was weird. But I kind of liked that I got to learn how to do all this online because everything was still online in 2021, right? I didn't have to be anywhere in person. Everything happened on my computer. So as long as I was on my computer, I could figure everything out. And that was kind of like a safe way to step into this stuff, because my next term, I got socials and general committee guardian, and everything was in person and it was insane. Oh my gosh. So what I'm doing in the socials is I'm arranging all these social events that are in-house for the executive committee. And we have a welcoming event, and we have a send-off event, and we have an event where the executive committee and the general committee meet each other because they're going to be working together, which the executive committee is the group of us that were elected, the 12 of us. And the general committee are basically students training to become the next executive committee. And they're basically just extra hands to help us with any events we might have. And it's nice to have a little social where we all get to meet each other. We also have to have a certain number of socials during the term because we get graded on that stuff. But that wasn't that much. So far, I have hosted the welcoming for the executive committee. It was like a brunch. I thought it was really cool. Which, yeah, I need to prepare the venue, the welcoming cards, the invites, the cutlery, the food, everything. It's just arranging an event from scratch, which is kind of fun. I have been enjoying that aspect. I also did the thing where the general committee and executive committee met up for the first time, which that was chaos. Oh my goodness. I booked a venue for Saturday. This venue was inside a building, and this building is locked on a Saturday. No one thought to tell me that would be the case. So I was running around trying to fix things because we were locked out of the venue, and I had stayed late the previous night to set some things up inside the venue. So it's not like we could just move to somewhere else because everything was already inside. We couldn't go anywhere else. And I was like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Where are we going to go? I called everyone. And eventually we ran into some security guards that were like, well, what exactly are you guys doing? Yeah, just show us the booking and we'll help you. And I was like, thank you so much. Okay. It was a stressful day, and it was raining. It was raining on top of that. I was supposed to look cute, but it was raining. The next thing I'm doing now is I'm hosting like something to help people make friends on campus because people came back second semester fully on campus. And I've heard from a lot of people that they don't know people, and I've seen a lot of people looking for love. So I'm doing a bit of a matchmaking event where you have to fill in a Google form, answer some questions and stuff, and we will put you into groups, kind of just people with similar interests type of deal. Also an opportunity for people that are part of the LGBTQ community to meet each other, and then just come hang out, vibe, have a good afternoon, socialize. It's the idea. So the planning for that hasn't been too hectic. There's just like a lot of paperwork and timelines, and that makes life hectic. Because I have to hand in paperwork to like ask for the money in advance, to book a venue, to stuff like that before I've even actually planned the event. Like, I'm not thinking about it yet, but the paperwork has to be in, which probably means I'm already supposed to be thinking about it. But you know what? Life is what life is. So that's fun. But then, like I mentioned, I'm also general committee guardian, which is what has been keeping me busy the most this term. And that is training people to become the new executive committee. So I've been telling them all about what being on the executive committee means, what the responsibilities would be, just making my nose look rounder, not smaller. What's going on? But it's also teaching a bunch of pretty much first years, like the professional etiquette, how to handle things, how to approach things. Also helping them with any issues they may have with the university and telling them more about the system so they could tell other people more about the system. But they're just a really fun group all together. They are so great. A lot of them are first years, which is like interesting because like I feel like I could be friends with all of them, but they're a bit younger. We're in different places in life. Is it weird to be friends with them? You know? But I love them. They're a lovely group. They're so sweet. But it's a lot more relaxed, so we get to chat a lot more compared to where the EC, it's business. We want to get out of here because those meetings can get long really easily. So no one really wants to say anything because everyone wants to go home or just to finish the meeting because up until now they have all been online, which honestly, that's been nice, Even if I live near campus, I don't want to be on campus at like 6 to 8 p.m. for a meeting where half the meeting doesn't even concern me, which that is the reality of meetings. You get a group of people all related together in one room and you talk about everything that needs talking about. Inevitably, there will be a section that's not about you. And if it's online, you can kind of vibe, slightly do something different, like all the time, like cleaning or cooking or something while I'm listening to a meeting. But if you have to come in person, you have to sit here and look interested all the time, even though it's not related to you at all. That must suck. But luckily, I haven't had much of that. My eyebrows are not cooperating. Nothing's cooperating actually, but it's okay. I think I'm in like a bit of a funk because when I was setting up to film and everything, like nothing was working out. My tripod is broken because I borrowed it to someone and now I'm dealing with the consequences of that. And I'm dealing with new technology and I haven't done this in a while and just all the things. Anyways. So that's like the gist of what I'm doing, and that's why I'm in this office. It's kind of like a home base where we get to do things. This is where the general committee has been having their meetings, which I've been giving the option to them to do it online or in person. And there's this group of 3 that usually always come in person. They seem to like hang out together all the time. So they come together, and then the other people, the first time we had a meeting in person, a lot of them came. But now today, only 4 of them came, and they're a group of 19. But I know a lot of them are also writing like semester tests and stuff, so I get it. The nice thing about having to lead a group like this, it's like mock chairperson, I don't want to make them do anything I don't like doing. Like, I hate if I don't get notice in advance, and I hate if I have to attend things where I'm just going to sit and do nothing. So I try and give them notice in advance as much as possible, and I try to not make them sit and do nothing. And if that's a possibility, I give them the option to attend. I don't ever want to force them to attend, which I think it's been pretty decent so far. I think they've been getting a good treatment so far. I'm quickly gonna set my face and I'll give you the usual little look around of where we are. Customary for doing a random places tutorial. I doused my face, but I don't feel like I got any on my face. But it has been an eventful 2 terms. There has been ups, there has been downs. Yeah, and sometimes I'm like, is it me? Am I the drama? Am I the problem? But like, there's also things I'm not going to back down about. So like, it's maybe okay that I'm the drama. We'll have to see. A point of contention, as you can imagine, has been masks, because I'm someone who is pretty strict about stuff like that. I still wear mine. There's also one person in the EC, we don't get along all the time. And like, not in a bad way. Like, I don't hate her guts. I like complaining. I complain about everything. My boyfriend hears everything. If the internet ever had to hear all the stuff I tell my boyfriend, I would get fired. I would get expelled. I would get in so much trouble. But venting makes you feel better, okay? We are very, 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 very different people, okay? She helped me learn that I'm actually very professional, which like, I don't feel very professional, but apparently I like things done a very certain way. Where she is more go with the flow, and I'm like, are you insane? You can't do that. And then we have to plan events together, and it doesn't work out. Okay, life is hard, but we're learning to deal with that. We're learning to deal with each other and stuff like that, which is good. That's what I'm saying. I don't hate her as a person. As a professional, we don't gel well, but as a person, she's fine. We actually had a disagreement the other day, which wasn't that bad. It was just like a miscommunication, which that happens way too much. Miscommunications, oh my gosh. But we figured it out real quick, and then I was like, she's actually nice. When we're not like arguing about things, she's actually nice, which I'll have to keep that in mind. No one's actually mean. You're just all working. Life's hard. So I'm picking up this brown shade from this Collie Bible palette, which has a dirty mirror, but I'll use it to give you the little customary look around. You can see behind me, by the way, that is a bathroom actually, which is really nice because we have to do office hours. We have to spend at least 2 hours a week in the office so the students can walk in and come ask questions if they have any. And having a bathroom in here means you can stay here for those full 2 hours. And I mean, I don't want to use that bathroom if someone else is here or someone else can walk in. Like, it's not closed up here. Like, the wall doesn't go all the way to the roof. Like, people can hear everything you're doing in there. Not a fan. So I don't use this bathroom ever. We then also have these like cupboards that I don't use at all. There's a lot of stuff from previous committees in there, but none of my business. We then have this really nice big conference table that can take 12 people, which works out for 12 people in the committee. And it creates a lot of space for a lot of stuff, as you can see. There's a lot of stuff here. This is from Acapella. This is like our decoration and stuff. And I'm actually doing Acapella. It's one of the culture events we host where we do Acapella, where you sing without any like instruments and stuff like that. Which, we did not have a lot of time to practice. It did not turn out great, but it was fun. And I got a free t-shirt out of it. And we actually got booked for a second performance. I don't know how that happened, but it did. But that's a side note. Just know lots of arts and crafts have happened on this table. Over there, we have a whiteboard, which can I even show you like this? Will you be able to see it? That's my makeup. There's the whiteboard. There is a whiteboard and like a felt board that you can like stick things on that wall. And then if you look over there, you're going to see some blinds, and that's the door. And then you can see my boyfriend sitting and working at the desk. There's like a desk with a computer there that we can use if we need to do any EC related things. But then there's the door you come in. It doesn't have like a door lock like a normal key. It has a code, which is really nice because we all have the code and then we can come in whenever. Then we have some more blinds, and then I don't know if you can see behind my camera. See, there's my camera and my ring light, nice and blinding. But those green things there, that's like a chest of drawers, and they're so nice, okay? They're like nice and big. It's like having a locker. I just chuck all my stuff in there. Like my lab coat lives in there now because I come in on this side of campus and I just grab my lab coat and then go to my practicals. So even if I forget there's a practical, my lab coat's always here. It works out very nice. I feel like the conversation's bouncing all over tonight, but that's okay. I also feel like I'm actually talking too much. This video might be like very long. I'm gonna take this nude color from the Modern Renaissance palette, and I want to brighten up my inner corner here. But as I mentioned earlier, the EC terms are from August to August, and we are approaching the end of August. So you'd think things are slowing down, but they're actually ramping up because we're like getting all our final events in. Like my next event is Friday, the whole matchmaking thing, and then the next week Friday have like a games thing, like old Buddha sports stuff, and then the Saturday we have the big awards thing, which that is chaos just because it's such a big event. But then what am I going to do after this? That is the question, because I feel like I've been so involved with the university for so long now that I can't just do nothing. Like, how am I supposed to know all these things are happening and just not be a part of it? I can't live like that, unfortunately. So it has definitely been something I have been thinking about. So I applied for STUCU, which is student culture. It is the culture sector of the SRC, which is the Student Representative Council, which is like as high as you can go. And there are like certain culture events that define the university. Those are run by STUCU. And these are the type of things that all the faculty houses participate in. This is something like a cappella, where each faculty house has a group going in. And these are like pretty big events. They're a pretty big deal usually. I decided to apply for that, which like might be a little ambitious. It sounds a little scary, but you can only go up and onwards. That's what you got to do. Yeah, I should plug in my mic again. I'm using a microphone. Can you hear the difference? I am upgrading here. I'm picking up like this pink shimmer on a fluffy brush. I'm gonna try and like work it into this part of my eye here to add a bit of color and open it up at the same. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I'm gonna do it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get this STUCU thing, and like I'm on the fence about if I want it. I think if I get it, I'll probably do it. I mean, it sounds like the right thing to do, to go upwards and onwards and all that. Okay, that is kind of cute. I'm gonna take a touch touch, a baby touch of this like bright pink down here. And I want to put it over that just to add a touch more actual color to it. Now for Stuku, you need to be voted for. And I don't know any of the people that could potentially be voting for me, so I guess we'll see how that works out. That's all I can say. But I'm still gonna try my best, which is what I'm doing right now. I need to make a video answering some questions and stuff as part of my campaigning. I already made a poster. But then again, on the other side, I'm like, why do I even want to do this? Like, this is so much effort. Like, every term I'm complaining, like, we're doing so much. I'm so tired. It's taking so much of my time. This is so unfair. Why do we have to do this, right? And then when it comes to election season, I'm like, maybe I should reapply. Maybe I should do this again next year. Now, before any of you complain that this look is too boring because it's on the nude, subtle side of things, I will admit, I'm gonna do liner lashes, and that is always a game changer. You know, I think this is the nicest, safest random places tutorial I've done. I'm practically alone on campus, it's quiet, there's a locked door, no one's coming in here. I'm allowed to be here. Actually, if someone else is here, they're the ones in trouble, not me. It's very nice, very comfy. Now, what are some positives and negatives about doing this while I'm sitting down here? I think it's good to have a bit of an insider's look at stuff. Like, that's what drives me to do this stuff. I want to know what's happening behind the scenes. I want to know why things work the way they do. And usually I find out there's actually a reason, and I'm like, why did no one tell me? This would be so much less frustrating. I just knew why we did things like this. I've also learned so much more about the university, which is definitely in my best interest. And I'm now capable of helping other people, which, like, I do that all the time. Like, strangers, I'm like, you could do this, go do that, this will solve your problem. Like, let me help you. But I really like how this has given me an insight into the professional working world. So this is what it's like answering emails, and this is what it's like being on Google Teams, and this is what it's like having professional responsibility and accountability. And an office job can't be worse than this. The pay can only be better. So yeah, I really appreciate that exposure specifically. But if I had to complain about this, other than meetings that are so unnecessary, which is a universal thing, I guess, I would have to say there are too many expectations for how little training we actually received. The handover and the setup and stuff can be better. And I think that's a problem that is better if you're in the real world, because presumably you're going to be at your office for longer than a year. Inherently, being a part of the EC is only for a year. Most people don't do a second term the way I did. And doing a third term is practically unheard of, which is why I was like, it's time to move on. But the fact that every year it's a bunch of new people figuring it out from scratch really puts you back. It's not good. But the other complaint I have is that, I think this is just, I don't know, a committee thing, an office job thing, is that a lot of people do things to be able to say it's been done, not to actually make a difference. And then the actual meaning behind events get lost. Like, we do a lot of charity, community service and stuff like that, which I think is a good thing. But then people are like, cool, this is how it's always been done. Let's just do it again. Easiest, quickest, best thing to do. And I'm like, okay, cool. Here are 3 ways we can improve it to make it better for the people actually receiving the charity from us. And I often get responses like, no, like, why would we change it? We've been doing it like this. This is the easiest. That's going to be extra effort, and we just want to get it done. And like, on the one side, at least the charity is still being done regardless. But on the other side, we could be doing so much more if we actually paid attention to why we were doing this. So that's something that's been important to me in my events, making sure I do it for the right reason and not just to get it done. A specific one that gets to me is we do like this period drive thing every year where we donate period supplies to people, which is a good thing because many people in South Africa are in need. But the thing with donating supplies like pads and tampons is they run out. You're going to have to keep donating and donating and donating. It doesn't solve the problem. Where there are reusable options, there are period panties, there are cups, there are other things like that, which that's not applicable in every situation, but it's applicable in a lot of situations. And then you give someone one thing and then it'll last them for the next few years. So you can go so much further with your charity efforts, but I've suggested it the last 2 years, and every time the response is like, nah, it's okay, we'll just stick with what we have. And I'm like, why? We could be doing so much more. But that's also in part just because of how long it takes to change the system. Like, we redid our constitution, and we made so many necessary changes, and all of them are only applying from next year. But again, criticism of the system, I understand why it works that way, but man, oh man. I'm like going through all my pinks because I feel like none of them look right. My only regret is that I haven't made friends. And not everyone's friends with everyone. That's like a normal thing that happens. But it would have been nice to get like a good best friend out of this. The one other thing I will complain about is the camps. I don't like the camps they make us go on at the beginning of the term. And they're to make us get to know each other and get to know what we have to do and put together a vision and mission statement. And remember, you're helping students and this is serious. And I just hate it. It's so, I don't have the words to explain why I don't like it. It feels like one of those things where they're talking to you being like, yeah, you need to be an adult now while treating you like a kid. And you have to go on a camp every year. And like the idea of a camp brings me this close to making me not want to run. Like when I realized we have to do camps again, I was like, okay, you can throw away my application, forget about me, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. I don't have to do it. And it's not like, typical girl doesn't like camping. I like camping, bruh. I used to do Girl Scouts, voortrekkers, for years. I went camping a lot, and camps were like my favorite thing ever. But then this is the final result. I feel a little bit more put together. I don't know what to do with my hair. But then this is how I'm going to look in my campaign video. Wish me luck. Let's hope this goes well. But then I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. It was kind of nice getting to reflect on my two terms and what I was doing and stuff, and kind of putting it out there exactly what I was doing, because I've been talking about the EC a lot, but I don't think I ever properly explained what it is. To be fair, I didn't really know exactly what it was for the first while, but now we're on top of it. And yeah, now you got to see the office, even though I'm almost done with this office. It's actually so nice. Nice location, nice and big, but when I'm done, can't be in here. Gotta move on to other things. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed making it, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye. Yeah, this thing's done. I can literally see through it. You didn't.